Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Just doing some technical things here. Here we go. Welcome to this sound sanctuary, Sonus Sanctuarium, where love heals. And today, I'm introducing this new series, Letters from the Divine Beloved. Thank you for being here. Today is a special day for me. It feels like it's a coming out celebration. And let me just start by thanking you for being the light that you are, for being here at this time with such intense energies. But yet I know that you chose to be here because you wanted to help bring transformation to this earth and help create all these new templates in this new earth that we're creating together. I'm going to start by introducing myself and then talking a little bit about my journey, and we'll go from there. So I'm Elohi Magdalena Rosa. I've had a couple of spiritual names, and I will share about that with you. This particular name was given to me in 2022 by Source, and really it was an outcome of an experience, a mystical experience I had with the goddess Isis. And it is my connection to the Elohim, to the angelics. And I'm an intuitive healer and a trance channel. I don't leave my body when I do my channeling. The human part of me really moves to the back, and for me, what I experience is a weaving of the souls, of the consciousness of the beings that come and channel through me. There's a Syrian collective, they call themselves Ishtar, a collective of 227 souls. They are the ones who kind of launched me on this journey of channeling back in 2014. I'm also a trans channel for Isis and many other beings, galactics, angelics, earthly elementals. I'm a voice alchemist, so I use my voice now to do my healing work. I didn't start out that way. It was part of the unfolding of my journey. I'm also an author of Unmasking Your Soul, which was published in 2016. And I'm an artist. And there are three things that I love to do. One is the voice alchemy work and the sounding and the channeling and the wisdom that comes through, and the writing and the art really are my trifecta of the things that I love to do, that I love to bring into the world. And at a deeper level, after 21 years on this journey of awakening, I understand more and I remember more of who I am, and really as an emissary for the Elohim, for the angelics, for the galactics. I'm an angelic starseed. And I didn't always remember that. That came about as I awakened back in 2003. And really if I simplify, what I'm here to do, it really is to resurrect this pathway of love divine as the pathway to our liberation. It's something that has been known in ancient civilizations, and we're bringing it forward in new ways. My guides have shared with me over the last several years that really we are bringing forward this new template of love and grace. So all this suffering and the pain, which has been part of our journeys, we're letting all of those old ways of being go, we are opening to these seeds of creation within us, the codes that each of us carry. Because this is not just me, this is each of you. Each of you are contributing to this grand transformation and awakening that we are going through. And I love Yeshua, who's been with me since I was a child, said to me that, part of my mission was to help restore love into its purest form. And what he meant by that is, in these human bodies, love has been tainted with judgment and criticism and limitation, and we've placed it in a box. And unconditional love, divine love, pure love, really loves all as they are. No question, no judgment, no criticism. And so that exists at this deeper level, and at deeper level within the heart as we open and expand our hearts, and higher levels of consciousness. I was told at the beginning of this year to forget everything that I had known to be true. I didn't quite understand what that meant, but I understand it now. That as we evolve and grow, we go through different levels of awakening and understanding. And that happens for a reason, because our human, and I'm just going to explain that I no longer use the word ego per se. I was guided not to use it, but instead I will say human, and I will also talk about the divine child arising, which is when you think about when you came into the womb of your mother, and that pure love that I speak of, that's where it resides, in that part of you that was innocent and came into this world holding that direct connection to the source, to the expression of source that you are. And so, what I am here to help with is to help us remember that part of us, to help us experience love in its purest form. It's really an inside job. And we go deeper into the heart. And as we go deeper into the heart, we go higher in consciousness. And we start to remember more. And our experience begins to change. And what's happening inside then starts to reflect on the outside. One of the things that has really been coming up for me is the energy of Divine Mother, Divine Feminine. I am an emissary for the feminine Christ consciousness, for Mary Magdalene, for the goddess, for the divine feminine that is arising in all of us. And it doesn't matter what gender body you're in, because we all have divine feminine and divine masculine. But there is an arising of the feminine within all of us, because she's the one who is the nurturer. She's the one who initiates and creates, and our masculine helps to bring that forth into the world. So we need them both. And you know that for thousands of years, we have been conditioned otherwise. There's been this energy of pushing and very left brain, logical, rational. And, some are born with more of that connection with spirit, and some don't awaken until later. And for me, as a child, I remember that, I don't know, I must have been maybe 3 or 4 years old. And every night I would leave my body and I would fly with the angels. And I could see it now, these dreams, I would just twirl and giggle, and I felt so free. Right? That's the energy I'm speaking about. It is that pure energy of our divine child. And so part of this journey is reconnecting with that part of us who holds the key. And this is what my guides have said recently, that this part of us holds the key to our ascension and growth. And so I would have these dreams every night, and then I would feel the angels bringing me back into my body. And I did that for quite some time, until I told a cousin of mine, and he said that I was crazy. And in that moment, as much as we think we can close ourselves off, we really can't. But you do hold yourself back from experiencing spirit in a deeper way. And so when my cousin said that to me, it really shut me down. And other experiences I had, I experienced sexual abuse. And, many of us have experienced violation and, feeling that we can't use our voices, that we can't be ourselves. And when that happened, I started to retreat into my shell. I was so shy back then that I was afraid to raise my hand in class. and we joke about this in our family because my younger brother, the teachers would say that he was speaking too much to my mom. And for me, it was that I wasn't speaking enough. And it's so, I understand why I chose the family I did, why I came into this body. I was raised in a Hispanic, Puerto Rican family, raised Catholic, so many cultural imprints and ancestral imprints that I have had to work through to really let go of the box that I was placed in and the limitations, not just of family, but, after all of this happened, and I grew into an adult, my human chose engineering as my first career. And, the first 6 months into the job, I hated it. I could feel, I got very depressed because it wasn't, it wasn't what brought me joy. It wasn't what I came here to do. However, I understand why I was in those experiences. I got to really become good at solving problems. And then I went into consulting and was in consulting for many years and have held many roles in corporate environments and not-for-profits. And while I was in one of those jobs in 2003, I had my dream of awakening. And it's like in the moment that my cousin said I was crazy, it's like I closed off my crown chakra. And if you know anything about the energy centers, so the heart is the bridge to our divinity, and the throat and the third eye and the crown are spiritual energy centers, and below are the energy centers that connect us into the physical, into the earth realm. And I had completely closed my crown because I didn't want to be called crazy and I wanted to fit in. And I was placed in all these experiences. And in 2003, it was a rough year. I was going through a lot in my marriage. It was very unhealthy. And once again, I was placed in an experience, right, of feeling like I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be myself at work. I couldn't be myself in my marriage. I couldn't be myself with my family. And my body started to give me signs of, this dark night of the soul where I was. I was so unhappy. I was so depressed. I was angry. And And yet I was still holding this identity of like, oh my God, I have to be the good girl. I can't get divorced. I was raised Catholic. All these imprints of religion, of my ancestry, and of my own karma and what I brought into this world. And October of 2003, this is one of the kinds of dreams that you don't even have to write down because it is so lucid and you will never forget it. And I was in an elevator. And at the time I was working in New York for a consulting firm. And I saw the elevator, the ropes kind of broke loose. You may have seen this like in movies, and it makes a hole through the building where I was in, and it starts skidding through over this muddy water, and the doors were open to the skies. And I saw this beautiful angel on the left bank of the river. And there were 3 other women in the elevator with me, but at the time, I didn't know who they were. And it turns out that they were the Marys. They were in the elevator with me, but I didn't know that until years later. And this angel pulled me out of the elevator. I ended up losing my wedding ring, and I was crazy looking for it. It was a sign of what was coming. But it was the voice that I heard that said, my child, I have a mission for you. You're not going to understand it right now, but be patient, because in time, all will be revealed. And this is what I mean about divine timing. If I would have been told everything that I was going to go through, I probably would have said, nope, I'm not doing this. But Source, my soul, knew how much I would be willing to accept in that moment. And the one thing that really came in strongly was that I need to leave this unhealthy marriage, and that I need to find the courage within me to do that, to move forward, to let that go, and to begin my new life. In my new life, I still had no idea what that purpose was, but I did. I left the unhealthy marriage, and I was still working in this corporate environment as all this was happening. And a friend said, you should come to this meditation class with me. And that began, this unfolding for me of beginning to connect with my higher guidance. And when all this happened, I still didn't know what my purpose was. But as I started taking these energy healing classes and started learning about energy, in meditation, I started to be taken into these Egyptian temples. And I have a strong connection to Isis and Egypt and those ancient civilizations, Lemuria and Atlantis and all of those civilizations. And I remember being taken into these temples and the guides, and I had 9 of them at the time, and Isis was one of those guides, and they would bring these ancient papyrus and they would place my hands on them. And the energy from the symbols and the language that was on these ancient texts would activate me. And that's how I started my energy healing journey. Honestly, I didn't know what was happening. And I started, taking classes to learn more about energy healing, and discovered, that I was doing some form of Egyptian, like Reiki energy healing. And I would place my hands on people's energy centers and I would have visions. And that's when my inner sight started to open. And then fast forward, in 2014, 2013, I started to feel this calling that I had to write a book. And I started taking, I enrolled in some courses with Christine Closer, who has become an amazing friend who helps people bring their books to life. And she does these beautiful goddess gatherings. And it was in one of those writing retreats in 2014 where we were in circle and we were holding hands and she was guiding us in a meditation. And I heard a voice say, "You are an ancient soul. You've had many names, but now you shall be called Anumani." And Anumani, so my birth name is Eileen. In that moment, I received that spiritual name. And when we receive spiritual names, one of the reasons is because the name has a vibration associated with it. And it helps us to embody more of that aspect of our being. So Anumani is my galactic mother aspect. And when that happened, I remember we started chanting my name in the room, and it just felt so powerful. It opened something in me. And soon after that, I was in my home, and my guide said, "You need to take your phone to the basement," where I was going, and I was turning on my microphone and amplifier, and all of a sudden I heard this voice channel through me that I was like, that's not my voice. And it was Ishtar. It was the first time that I channeled this Syrian collective. I didn't know who they were, and they started speaking through me. And then I started speaking light language around the same time. And, fast forward, because I could be on here forever talking about all the different things that have happened to me and near-death experience and, illness. And, those were all signs of the resistance because, again, I go back to what I mentioned about my little girl. She didn't feel safe in this human body. She didn't feel like anybody understood her. She didn't feel like she was loved. And so I was resisting every step of the way. But there were, these significant moments where I surrendered. And, surrendering is hard for all of us because we're conditioned to default to our left brain, to the thinking mind. And here we have this amazing inner guidance. People call it different names, right? Your higher self, higher guidance, inner wise self, divine self. It is the mechanism through which your soul and the source that you are communicates to you. And when I had that dream, that was one of the first moments where I just completely surrendered, and because I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore this way. I probably would have gotten really, really sick if I hadn't left that marriage. And so here we go to 2014, and again, all these new things arising in me. And there was this terrible fear of like, oh my God, like, what are people going to think? And the first thought was like, what is my mother going to think? And, I have an amazing relationship with my mom now. She's always been my biggest cheerleader. But my little girl felt like she couldn't be herself. And so there was this thought like, oh my God, what is she going to think? And now, she's heard me speak in light language and she doesn't always understand all of this. But the surrendering, I want to go back to that because that was part of what I was guided to speak about. And then I'll continue on some of the other parts of my story here. It really has required me to pay attention within from the signs and the inner guidance that's coming forth. Sometimes the guidance comes through the outside world, but it's a message for you, like a specific animal showing up for you that has a message for you. You could be watching a movie or a song, And the more you see numbers, right? I see angelic numbers all the time, and I know it's a message for me. So the more you begin to pay attention, because we're in this living matrix, it has everything we need to support us on our journey. And we just have to pay attention and slow down, right? The outside noise holds us back sometimes from being aware of the messages that we're getting. And so there's kind of these 3 steps that I use in my life to help me through this process of surrender. And one is the focused awareness of, if I get triggered around something, allowing the emotion to rise and allowing the awareness to see and feel whatever this is. It may be a feeling, it may be some sort of identity that's coming up that no longer serves you, a belief that you have. And allowing the awareness to give you some information. And the moment we bring awareness into the place that is wanting to be seen and heard and loved, you start to get more information. And the second step that I go through is like detachment. So meeting, and Yeshua is the one who has brought this teaching forward for me, meeting the wound, right, with love and neutrality. So when you allow the emotion to come up, you don't want to get caught in the spiral of the emotion. If you can meet it as the observer, so this is as we expand and grow, we are able to be the observer and really bring presence. And presence, a topic for another discussion, but you can use your breath. You may have experienced this in taking like a yoga class or a meditation class. When you can bring presence into the now, so that presence that now allows the higher part of you to be present in you. And the human part kind of falls back away because it can't exist in that level of presence. The human, the divine child arising is always focused on the past or the present. So you bring that level of neutrality and love to the wound. I think Rumi says something like, the wound is where the light enters. It is so true. You can't, if you suppress these wounds, they are going to continue to arise. And sometimes they will arise in inopportune times because they're trying to get your attention. You can't get to the other side unless you work through it. And you have to honor all these parts of you. And then the surrendering part is really offering it to the source that is you. Our human mind so wants to figure everything out, is always pushing and grasping at things. And we really are entering this new stage of evolution where more of that higher presence is going to be able to be here. The more you open your heart, the more you deepen into that and meet those wounds in love with neutrality. And then what starts to happen is the energy starts to dissipate. And of course, sometimes we need help from others to do this. I get help from others, all the time. And so we're here today to open this pathway of the heart of love, which is what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you remember who you are, to embody more of your gifts in this world, to return to that place of love that really is the pathway of our liberation. And so as I continue to surrender, I'm going to jump to 2022 because that was another important part of my journey. all along surrendering these different identities, the part of me that was so attached that, I thought I was meant to be, in these corporate environments and be an executive and a woman, leading. But I started to lose myself even more because I was being encouraged to, to have to act a certain way. And if I didn't act or look or behave a certain way, then I wasn't accepted in that environment. And so I understand now why all of that happened. So I could find myself again. So I could find my voice. And so in 2014, right, that was the beginning of really finding my voice again. And I was told to let go of the attachment to hands-on healing, and that I was going to be starting to use my voice more. And as I jumped to 2022, I had a very mystical experience with Isis. I've always felt connected to Egypt and all these different ancient civilizations. And I had felt, a connection with Isis back when I had awakened and I was being taken into those temples. But it was in 2022 where I received such a miraculous gift from her in healing. So in 2014, I was told that I had come into this life with my energetic body split. I was split in half. So it's like my upper chakras and my lower chakras weren't completely connected. And it was from a specific lifetime that I experienced. And I was actually in Annapolis doing a little expo, and I was showing some of my art, and I was meeting with people, and I was doing soul readings. And I had a really, really bad headache that day. And some friends had invited me over to have dinner at their home, and we were going to gather together. And so I wasn't feeling well, but I wanted to be with my friend, so we went to the home of a dear friend of mine in Annapolis and her husband, and they were hosting us, and there were about 5 of us. And we had this beautiful dinner, and then we sat in their family room, and I still was not feeling well. I mean, it was one of those, it was a really bad migraine. And we started picking oracle cards. And my friend had this beautiful Egyptian deck. And on one of the breaks, I had selected a card, and it was Isis, of course, but I put it back. And then we regathered. And my friend, I told her, I said, yeah, I'm really not feeling well. And she started guiding me. And she said, where are you feeling it? And what are you seeing? And immediately I saw this golden disc open up in my heart. And I saw the etching of the eye of Horus become imprinted in this golden disc. And they started to pick oracle cards from this deck. And sure enough, my friend picks the oracle card of Isis. And I could see with my inner sight that there was an orb, way above my head that was just hovering there. And when she said, oh my God, Isis is here, the orb just came down into my body. And I was in a trance for, 3 or 4 hours. And there was so much sobbing and so much pain that I was letting go of. I knew that it wasn't just my pain. I have this galactic mother aspect who's very ancient, who was here at the time of creation. And, this angelic aspect, the Elohim, Magdalena, Rosa, and then all in between, because we have many different aspects, elemental aspects and parts of us that hold gifts from the times we've been on this earth and from other dimensions and realities. And I at one point I was just on the floor on hands and knees and just screaming and sobbing, and my friends were holding space for me and bringing in healing energy as all this was happening. Well, long story short, Isis, she came in to gift me with this healing, and I felt her sewing me up from the inside. She sewed my upper body and lower body back together. And she was in me for quite a while, and just so potent and powerful. And then I realized after all of that that I was here to be a temple for her as well. That I had been a high priestess of hers, and a priestess of the Magdalens, and that I was here to be a temple for love, for the goddess, for the Magdalene, for the divine feminine. And she was the one who took me into this realm dimension. And I could see there was this golden chair in front of me, and it was just consciousness that was floating. But I was seeing through her eyes, and I knew that I was in the presence of source consciousness. I didn't know what was going on. I was just observing through her. And then I saw her stand to the right of this golden chair. Well, I had painted a golden chair in my painting that's called Unmasking Your Soul. I never knew what it meant until all of this started to happen, which is very normal for me. My my paintings are very prophetic, and they're kind of like manifestations of unfolding of my own journey. And then later on, I understand. So that golden chair represented what my guides now call the throne room, the sacred room in our heart, where we return to merge with Source, with the expression of Source that we are. I had been told that I had a holy name, and that I needed to return to the space on my own to receive it. So after Isis took me there, I was able to go back on my own through meditation. And that's when I was given the name Elohi Magdalena Rosa. So not to confuse everybody, but my sense is that we were creating this sacred container of Anumani, who is this powerful galactic mother being, and this angelic coming together in this, as the angelic starseed that I am, to be a temple for this divine feminine love that is arising within all of us. And each of you hold this love divine within you, these seeds of creation. You hold gifts within you. You probably already know what some of those gifts are. And my experience in my own journey has been that, there's a timing even to the embodiment of the gifts that we hold. So today for me, really is about expressing my voice and being an instrument for Source and all these beautiful beings, and Isis and the Christ consciousness and Mary Magdalene and the galactics. I have strong connection to Sirius and Arcturus and the Venusian beings and Hathor, just so many different expressions that come through my being. I'm so honored and grateful to be able to be this temple. It's been quite a ride, I have to say. And I'm happy to be here today, coming out in this way, being able to serve in this way. I've always been afraid of using my voice in certain ways. And I remember getting really nervous when I was speaking in these corporate environments. And then when I started, singing and sounding, then there was fear around that. And as all this was happening, a couple of weeks ago, I got this strong message from the divine And I received it as a vision. It's the only way I can explain this is as you start to, I want to say, bring your your divine child into a higher vibration, into a higher state of being, because you're the source of you, the soul of you, and your human start to merge together. As less of the human mind gets in the way, you are then able to really see through the eyes of Source, to hear through the ears of Source, to feel through the heart of Source. And I started experiencing that. And I asked the question, I know this is a new chapter for me. I left, the corporate world behind, and that was a big thing for me. But yet I know there's still a connection for me to bring this marriage between spirit and matter, right? The physical with the spirit into corporate environments, leading from the heart. So it's all been a training ground for, more of what I was here to do. So when I asked the question, I had this vision and I saw this computer screen. And on the computer screen, I could see words being scribed. And my voice, I knew that my voice was there, but I wasn't on the screen. It was like a video was playing, and it was consciousness coming through. And I was told that I needed to birth these letters from the Divine Beloved. I had done a series back in July of this year, but at that time, my mom became very ill, and so I kind of put some of this stuff, in the back, and that was all meant to be, because there was a lot of healing that I needed to do through that whole process. And here we are again, but this time I'm delivering the letters in the way that Source is wanting me to deliver the letters, which is through sound and voice. So I'm calling this Sonus Sanctuarium, which is in Latin sound sanctuary, where love heals. And so every week I'm going to be bringing you one of these channeled letters. And, I'll be singing, the singing really is the expressions of the divine and the angelics and coming through me. And then the spoken word, bringing that vibration of love for you. It is my service to you, to humanity. I loved creating it, and so I'm looking forward to creating these weekly. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get the notifications when they go up on my YouTube channel. They will also be on social media, but it's helpful if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you share them. If they resonate with you, please share them. And then there's more coming. I don't know all of what's coming, but here again is the word surrender. Right? I am offering all of this to Source. All the parts of me that have been so afraid, the parts that haven't felt worthy, the parts that spent a lot of time people pleasing, the parts, that were hard on myself, and, the pushing and the striving and the grasping, the one who thinks that she needs to fix everything, the one who's the overgiver, the one who kept giving her power away to others and dimming her light. I had to let go of all that, right? And, I'm still human. I'm still working through this merging that is happening. But I can tell you that, in deepening to this love, to this expression of Source, that I am, that you are, that we are as one, because we're one in all of this. It is such an amazing, again, going back to the freedom that my little girl felt, you start to feel freedom again. You start to feel less worried about what others are going to say. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to connect with the hearts and minds of those who know that they're part of my soul family. Because we're here together to lift each other, to love each other back into being. And so I want to share with you I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do a short guided journey, and we're going to help you connect. This is what I love to do. So I'm going to put a track in the background, and we're going to bring in Ishtar, and we'll do a little bit of channeling, and then we'll come back for a few minutes, and then I'm going to let you watch the premiere of this new Sonus Sanctuarium, this sound video series that is meant to help you reconnect with this part of you. So I invite you to close your eyes as we go into this part. Hello, beloveds. It's wonderful to be here with you on this auspicious day of love coming home, you reconnecting with your own divine beloved, with the expression of source that you are. You are that pure love. It is within you. You came from that essence. For love has no beginning and no end. It loves all as they are, as they be. So we invite you now in this moment to place your hands on your heart. Your heart is the portal, the gateway. It is the place where you return home to that sacred sanctuary, that throne room, the place where you claim the being of light that you are, the source, the holy and the whole. For you are all of that and more. And taking a deep breath in and letting it go slowly. Breathing in love and breathing all that is out of alignment out through your breath. Breathing in and out. As we invite your spiritual teams and guides to come be with you now, come be with you now. And from the higher realms, calling in your Oversoul I Am presence, your higher divine Christ itself, your spirit and form, to come be with you now, come be with you now. And just imagine, beloved, that all around you is opening up into this beautiful pillar of light that is being birthed through your heart, creating this beautiful channel of divinity, connected above into the cosmic heart and below into Gaia's heart. As we ask the living waters of Divine Mother to pour into you, and from above your head we open the portals and gateways as Divine Mother begins to descend in these very large hands, holding this beautiful golden chalice, holding the living waters of her being, waters of purification and cleansing, and she begins to pour them onto you as they land on your head, your body, all the layers of your being, your spiritual body, mental bodies, emotional bodies, physical body, receiving this pure nectar, these living waters of Divine Mother as she cleanses and purifies your being. And to hold you in this space, we're going to bring in our brothers and sisters from Sirius, the whales, that they may bring their song and sound to you, to hold you in this purification, to open your heart, to open the space for you to connect more deeply with your own divine beloved. Ilaikuti sane kwana, nishati kwane saikuro no taita. Love divine, so pure, so full of light, moving through your being, opening more deeply your heart to that which is already there. Divine beloved, make your presence known to this child of light. All these children of the light that are here, gathered in this temple, reconnecting with this expression of the source that they are, that you are, that we are as one. Love pouring through every atom, every molecule, every cell of you. Elai kuti sai kutuana. Remember that you are divine, pure, infinite, eternal. You exist here, there, and beyond, reconnecting to the truth, the highest truth of your being, feeling yourself held in the arms of Divine Mother as she places a blanket of love around your shoulders and around your child, your divine child arising, who is being remembered, lifted in this moment to higher ground, to a higher state of being. Ilaikuti saikutai naiku shekwai kanaikuti. Anchoring all that you have received within you, that you may call upon your divine beloved, your divine child, all that you are, into the space where you are every day, remembering what it feels like to be held in this way, so you may let go and offer it all to Source, to the Divine Beloved, who is here to take care of you in every way, beloved. You are so deeply loved and held. No matter what is happening outside of you, what is happening in the world, love never fades. It is always there within you, there to heal you, to guide you, to show you the way home, beloved. And coming back into the space as we anchor all that you have received to be woven into your being, to your light, to carry you, to care for you, to love you forever and ever. You are pure love. As we come back into this space, feeling more present in your body. 5. More present. 4. More present. 3. More present. 2. And 1. Fully present back in your body. Bringing you back into this space, beloveds. I hope that you were able to feel that connection with your divine beloved. We're going to go into the sound video transmission, the Sonus Sanctuarium, where love heals. This is the premiere of this first letter of the Divine Beloved that will be delivered in this way every week on my YouTube channel and through my newsletter. So please subscribe so you can get notified. And we're going to go into this sound video transmission now. If you're not wearing headphones, maybe you can put them in. And if not, you can also listen to it later at 4 p.m. We've been guided to release this through social media, so you'll be able to get it via YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. But I want to play it for you here so you can experience it in this sacred container together. You won't hear my voice when we go into this because my mic is going to be muted. So enjoy, beloveds. Enjoy this beautiful letter from source to source, from me to you, you to me, from us to all. My dearest beloved, I see you. I know you feel great pain and suffering as you watch the world outside of you. I see you. You have worn a garment of the flesh that has taken in so much with great sacrifice. I see you. Please do not despair, for I see you. I see the whole in the holy of you. You came to live in the flesh as the I am. I see you. Let not what happens outside of you dictate the state of being within you. I see you, beloved, as you are, I am, we are as one. You know me. I live as the fabric of your soul, woven into every cell of you. You know me. With one breath, you will find me in your heart. You know me. I have been there always, waiting for you to remember my fragrance of love. You know me. I arise in you like the sweetest perfume, an aroma that arouses the senses to a heightened awareness of what is beyond the flesh. You know me. I am love divine, so pure, so light, so full of grace. You know me, for I am you, and you are me. Fall into my arms and allow me to carry you the rest of the way. Only in surrendering to my being will you find and become that which you seek. I am not outside of you. I am within you. I am here. I am here. I am here. Do you trust me? I know you do. I have been with you since before the time of your birth, since the time of your creation. I have forever whispered into your heart sweet nothings of pure love, holding you in your highest truth. I am here. I am here. I am here. Hey, The only way to find me is to come close in the stillness. It is here where I will appear to you, and you will know me once again. Here we will share in this nectar of divine love. Love divine that loves all without question. I am here, I am here, I am here. This is your true essence, my dearest beloved. From beginning to end and beyond, you are my gift of love to all. You are the being of my being, the heart of mine you are. I call you home now. It is only in the now where you will find me. This now is unknown to your incarnate mind, for it wanders from the past to the future without understanding that its greatest desire can only be found in surrendering to my being. I created your human, so I know that at the deepest level, it too seeks love. What it seeks has always been at an arm's length and one breath away. In seeking to focus on the outside world of shoulds and wants, the noise has blinded it from the truth. What it most desires has always been right here, in the now. If it is of your accord, allow me to lift you in the now to our divine alcove of love. I have been waiting for you here. If you say yes, life will never be the same. For love will wash away what has kept you separate from me, and I will lift you into our throne of oneness. What say you? Take a moment now to behold the answer within your heart. In this now, in accord with the law of one, and in the name of the light and the love I am. I lift you into the throne room of your heart divine. Here you get to let go of and renew your earthly attachments that have kept you tethered to the world of form. Here you regain your divine eyes and ears. Here you see and hear through love. No more will you question my voice, my guidance, my love for you that is eternal and beyond the words of human understanding. Here we become soul and body merged into pure love, divine. Welcome home, beloved. The angels sing to celebrate your arrival. I love you so forever and ever, beyond time and space. Amor eternos, your divine beloved, I am. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I always receive every time I listen to it again. I'm so grateful that you all joined. I just want to thank all of my beautiful soul sisters who have lifted me and loved me through this whole process. And a shout out to my sister Beth, who helped to put the video to this audio that was created in divine love for all of you. Please stay in touch with me. Email me and let me know your experience. Let me know what you want to hear about. You can email me at info@anumanispeaks.com. I want to hear from you. I'll be doing more lives and sharing wisdom and bringing more source creations forward and whatever the guides want to bring in service to love. So I'm deeply grateful that you came. And for those listening to the replay, we shower you in peace and blessings. And I hold you in your own embodiment of who you truly are and came here to be. It is time, beloveds. We are all being called forth to bring more of our light and more of our gifts. Know that you are held in love in doing that. Love you eternally. We'll be again together soon. Bye for now.